Oh, I just saw it.
How about that? All right, there we go.
Okay.
It was just the setting, I guess. I don't know. Something was weird with the plug, and then I had to go and make sure the settings were correct. The default was not to the microphone.
And basically, we just appear like we're woefully unprepared for life.
That's how it always feels.
I mean, that's how I feel on a regular basis.
Oh, but the camera now is frozen. Lovely.
What is going on?
We'll deactivate.
Oh my gosh.
Activate. And now I gotta.
Yeah, the color's messed up.
It's okay. It's okay. This is an easy fix. Stupid.
We're having so many problems.
It's not that bad.
Okay.
It's not as bad as you're making it out to be. It's okay.
Okay.
It is A-okay. I don't know. We're figuring it out.
It's gonna be fun.
Is it still picking up some sound from somewhere? Oh, it's picking up sound.
Is there something in your headphones?
Yeah, it's the headphones. It's picking up. No? I am so confused.
Do you have another webpage up?
No, that was it. It's that, and then over here I've got Facebook, which isn't making any noise. Our live stream here isn't making any noise. It's totally coming through here for some reason.
Just unplug the headphones. What happens if you do that?
No, it doesn't matter. I gotta figure this out.
We're having so many technical issues.
No, we're not. It's okay. What the world?
Fine.
I've never had this happen before.
We have no idea what we're doing, obviously.
I'm just confused because I've never had that happen. So, I don't know. Anyways, I'll just unplug it. But yeah, I've never had that do that. That's going to be a problem, though, if I go to stream a game and it does that. Because in order to pick up all the Zoom stuff, I have to have the audio set through the computer. So if it's doing that, I don't know. That's weird. Not cool. Not cool. Anyways, how are you doing tonight, Chance? It looks like we have a small crowd tonight. Paula has been painting this dragon on and off for a week off stream.
I really haven't done that much work off stream. It's like I come out here to do something, and then I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. So then I do nothing.
That's not true. You sit here and paint. You did it when I was talking to Dave,
I mean,
like most of the time.
Yeah, but that was just like one color. I mean, everything at this point just feels like it's one color. I've just been painting the same color over and over again. Over and over again. It's okay. It's okay. I'm doing fine. I'm going to make it through.
Okay.
I'm going to push through this.
Whatever you say. So, today I decided, I was like, I feel like I need to look at the core rulebook for Pathfinder some more. Because we've been talking a lot about, like, ancestry, synergizing with classes. And I was like, because I thought maybe I was a bit harsh on the catfolk the other day. Right?
And
right.
now watch, you're like, actually I hate it more.
I don't hate it more, but I was not harsh on the catfolk.
You're like, it didn't get any better.
It didn't. So I don't mind the catfolk. I think it can be fun, and I think you can do some cool stuff with it. It just doesn't cater to the classes that I like. That's all. It's not. It's. So it can work well with martial classes, but it's only if you're willing to do like a lot of unarmed attacks and stuff, or be dex based and things like that, right? And that's just not me. Like, you could probably be a good monk with it. I don't know. You could probably do some decent rogue stuff, some decent swashbuckler stuff, but nothing really knocked my socks off when it was like going through the heritages and the
You're
the feats.
So heavy in those stupid martial classes.
Well, hang on, but that's not the point.
There's
nothing. Okay, there's nothing in it that helps spellcasting either. Like there's very little. So again, it doesn't synergize with anything, obviously, on the surface to me. But decided to be like, all right, I'm going back to the core rulebook. So dwarves, right?
You're gonna try and give it the benefit of the doubt.
I'm gonna go through the ancestries from the core rulebook.
Guys, this is so like, I don't even know what to do.
Just focus on one thing and get it done. Stop trying to look at the whole thing and be done at once. A little bit at a time. All right, progress over perfection, as Tim says. So, the Ancient Blooded Dwarf, the very first one. You attempt a saving throw against a magical effect, but you haven't rolled yet. Your ancestors' innate resistance to magic surges before slowly ebbing down. You gain a +1 circumstance bonus to the triggering saving throw until the end of this turn. Basically, as a reaction, you get a +1 to any saving throw against a magical effect. That's pretty damn good, right? That's a really good defensive thing. It's situational, but it's still very broad. Like, you can use it against any magical effect as a reaction if you haven't used your reaction yet. That's huge. Next, Death Warden Dwarf. If you roll a success on a saving throw against a necromancy effect, you get a critical success instead. Which means, like, if it's saved for half, well, you critically succeed. You don't take any damage from a necrotic spell then, right?
Yeah, but like,
that's huge.
Yeah, but like, you know.
That one's more situational than the previous one, right?
Correct.
But it's still something that, again, defensively is really good, but it's more situational. So that one's not the best, but I still kind of like that one. Forged Dwarf grants fire resistance equal to half your level. You treat environmental heat effects as if they were one step less extreme. Fire is huge in fantasy RPGs. Again, very effective. Like, that one's more effective, I think, than the necromancy one. Rock Dwarf. +2 circumstance bonus to your fortitude or reflex DC against attempts to shove or trip you. Like, that's huge. Huge. It also applies to saving throws against spells or effects that attempt to knock you prone. In addition, if any effect would force you to move 10 feet or more, you are moved only half the distance. So that one, again, is very situational, but the way Pathfinder works with, like, the crits and everything, a lot of things are trying to trip you so that they can get a better chance of getting those crits, because crits aren't based on a nat 20. They're based on just being 10 higher.
Right,
like,
yeah.
So that is a huge one, especially for martial characters who are always up front engaged with these, right? And again, it would work for anything, you know, but yeah. Strong-blooded dwarf. Your blood runs hardy and strong. You can shake off toxins. Basically, you get poison resistance to half your level. And you reduce the poison affliction stage by 2 or by 1 for a virulent poison. Each critical success against an ongoing poison reduces its stage by 3 or by 2 for a virulent poison. Again, huge. And there's a lot of things that do poison damage. Dwarven lores, whatever, as a first level feat. Weapon familiarities, common across like any ancestry. Rock Runner. Connection to stone, adept at moving across uneven surfaces. You ignore difficult terrain.
So are you just upset that their feats basically like aren't
Well, the first thing's with the
power
heritages.
gamey enough for
It's not
you?
about power gaming. It's that it does not synergize. So typically when people play a class, a lot of people try to craft a character's ancestry, background, and class to give them the highest stat possible that's beneficial to that class, right? So if you're a fighter, it might be strength,
maybe
might
people
be
are
constitution.
just like, hey, it'd be cool
Yes.
to be like a dwarf that's also like a ranger.
I don't deny
or
that.
Something like that.
I don't deny that. People do that, but that's far less people. So you're talking about a pool of, we'll just say 1 million people. You might get, 10,000 people who do that. But then the other, 900,000 typically craft things that make sense with each other.
I'm just saying, you're always telling me that I'm like super power gamey
This
about
has nothing
stuff,
to do with that. This is not
but
that.
I'm just like,
We're talking about the effectiveness of the class. It is not.
But I guess
ancestry.
I don't think that when I'm like, what am I gonna
Yes,
play?
you do. Don't even lie.
No, that's not true. Like sometimes it's like, oh yeah, this in combination with this and this is really cool, but still I'm going after some sort of.
Why did you play an
idea.
Azamar Paladin in Tomb of Annihilation? To power game it.
Well, okay, no, but that
Why-
was hold on.
an elven rogue when we first started playing together?
Hold on. So first of all,
Because
back
the
up.
dex bonus.
No. Hold on. You're like making assumptions for me. Let's back up
Oh,
to the
because it's pretty.
the
bullshit.
Aasimar Paladin in Tomb of Annihilation. That game, I was pissed because I
Yeah.
was told it wasn't a big deal if my character was optimal or not. So I built a very non-optimal character, which is very against me and how I.
It wasn't suboptimal. It was just a squishy spellcaster.
No. I was very suboptimal. And so then I was like, screw it. I'm about to rock this DM's world with my Aasimar Paladin and show you what it's like to, and anyway, it pissed him off. But,
Yeah, so anyway, you're misunderstanding my point. My point is it just doesn't synergize.
My point is, though, that, no, the rogue, that was just because that's what I was like, oh, I like to play rogues.
Sure.
And I'm accustomed to playing rogues. And I haven't played a lot since then because I've played so many.
Sure.
So now it's like, oh,
and you learned about roleplay.
So
now you play a catfolk fighter.
No, I'm just like, I've been enjoying spellcasters, so I tend to lean that way, but, it's all good.
Gotcha.
So I'm just saying,
So anyways, I'm going to continue because this is good.
I think a lot of people who play more, a lot of people that I see who play, the tieflings and the catfolk.
Yes, but you're talking about 5e more than you are
no, but just stuff like that in general tend to play them frequently.
Right.
So they play them just because they like that race or whatever.
Sure.
So they just go for it anyway. So I don't know that it has to be, right?
Sure. I'm not a power gamer. Like I've told you, I want to make a mountain dwarf wizard. That is not optimal whatsoever.
I mean, you keep, you say these words, but,
I've
there's
played,
things that you do.
hundreds of characters for D&D 5e. Hundreds.
And you're over here, I've never played any spellcasters before.
That is bullshit. I have played spellcasters.
I don't play spellcasters.
Anyways, so totally off topic. So, anyways.
It's on topic.
No,
we're talking about the catfolk.
Yes, but you think that it's because I'm a power gamer. I'm not a power gamer.
I'm just saying you accuse me of being a power gamer.
No, you're just trying to lump me into the same group, but I'm not. So I'm talking about that they just don't synergize. That's it. They don't blend together. They don't work together.
Okay.
So I've been trying to figure out again what the catfolk works with. So I was like, oh well, maybe it's just how Pathfinder's designed.
You know what?
So hang on. So no.
Pro tip: post in the Pathfinder group. What's your favorite class to play?
For the book that came out last month or last week?
Yeah, for
Nobody's
sure,
played
dude.
anything.
What do you guys think? Just be general feedback, where I was like,
I have.
Hey,
and
I've never played on Fantasy Grounds before, so general feedback.
Anyways.
What's the deal? And people had great comments about
I'm testing it out myself though.
And there's this other thing out there outside of, Fantasy Grounds and Roll20 or whatever that apparently is cool. I don't know.
There's multiple different tabletops.
Well, I'm just saying there are a lot of people who recommended something different too,
Sure.
But you don't find out unless you ask the question.
Sure. So
I'm not psychic.
Anyway, so looking at it, there's other things in here.
Guys,
right?
He's just mad that I.
No, I just don't care. So unburden.
Oh, okay, I get it. It's cool. You're just I don't care about your
You're
opinion.
missing what I'm trying to say though. So
all right, cool.
So I
Continue
don't care
on.
about virtual tabletops.
Continue on.
So.
And while you're talking about that,
rather than ask other people who would say, "Why don't you read the book?" I figured I will look into the core rulebook myself and just go through the ancestries. So I was doing my.
Everybody's not going to be go read the book.
Oh no, a lot of people do. So, anyways, I've seen other people do it too. Others. So I started looking through again, right? The dwarf also at first level.
Pro tip. Hold on. No. I'm just
you're
talking too fast. Pro tip: if you're in an RPG group and somebody says, "Hey, I have a question about this," don't be the guy that says, "Go read the rule book." Oh, hey, Sherlock, thanks. I didn't try that already. I didn't think that might be a good idea. I'm just saying, Don't be that guy.
Right.
Okay, so now continue on with the thing you've been trying to say for 18 minutes that I've been inhibiting for you.
So the thing I was trying to say
Yep.
is obviously the catfolk can do their scratch attack. That's cool. That works for every class.
That's the only thing you like that you've told me about 87 times.
Yeah, but that's the only thing that I think on the surface works for everything and is very effective.
Chance, what do you think?
So anyways, so the dwarf not only gets all these defensive things that work for all the classes, but also work well with my martial stuff that I like, but they also get damage stuff. So Vengeful Hatred, you choose an ancestral foe to get a +1 circumstance bonus to damage with weapons and unarmed attacks against creatures with that trait. In other words, you pick a creature like an orc or something like that would be your drow, durgar, giant orc. Anyways, if you critically succeed an attack against you and deals damage to you, you gain your bonus to damage against that creature for 1 minute, regardless of whether it has the chosen trait. So, yeah, you're going to be able to do more damage to those creatures as well. Again, that's for, melee combat, right? Which is awesome. And that works great. So dwarf, perfect, beautiful, love it. So I was looking at the elves.
You always like dwarves, though.
So let me talk about elves that I don't always love. They get, hey, what do you know? We're streaming in Lily's here. I'll come in and check in a second. Arctic elf, cold resistance. Again, not as effective as the fire one, but it's still very good. There's a lot of cold spells, things like that. Great. Cavern elf, you were born or spent many years in underground tunnels. Dark vision.
Yeah, see,
Great.
Chance's Guide to Fragrance says it's just it's flavor, right?
He says it's not as reliant on ancestries as 5e. I would disagree with that because the only way to get to an 18 at first level is with an appropriate ancestry. So you're missing out on a +1 there. +1's a big deal in this, especially when you're talking about crits being the 10 higher. But yeah, Cavern Elf. Get Dark Vision. Great.
Basically, he's saying, Chance, that he disagrees with both of us.
I disagree with Chance in the sense... I understand what he's saying. I think, again, I am all for the roleplay aspect. I'm totally for choosing a suboptimal ancestry. That's not what I'm discussing here. I'm just saying certain things synergize well with other things. Some synergize with a lot of things. Some don't synergize with very much.
I feel like you've been trying to make it synergize with things.
No, I'm trying to understand it. That's all I'm trying to do.
And it's just maybe it's not supposed to.
So,
maybe it's just supposed to be what it is.
It is. I get that. So anyways.
Maybe they said, hey guys, we'd really like to do a catfolk.
Either
what
way.
we got? And they didn't have anything.
Either way. So the Seer Elf. You can cast the Detect Magic cantrip.
Hi, Cameron.
As an arcane innate spell at will. It's heightened to the spell level equals a half your level, round up. In addition, you gain a +1 circumstance bonus to checks to identify magic and to decipher writing of a magical nature. These skill actions typically use the Arcana, Nature, Occultism, and Religion skill. Excellent ability. Again, works for everybody. Everybody loves to have someone in the party who can detect magic and identify it and all that good stuff, right? So that's a great one. Works across the board.
Ooh, Chance says that stats aren't as important as proficiency is.
Correct. But proficiencies are the same for everybody across the board at low levels for the most part. Fighters get a little bit more in their attacks, But for the most part, everybody is 4 plus their mod, which is a difference between a +3 and a +4, depending on which ancestry you took, plus your level. So again, you're still talking about a +1 difference between two different things based on the ancestry you chose. Whisper Elf. So this one's good too. Finely tuned, you can detect the slightest whispers of sound. So when you use the Seek action to sense undetected creatures in a 60-foot cone instead of a 30-foot cone, you also gain a +2 circumstance bonus to locate undetected creatures that you could hear within 30 feet with the Seek action. That's huge, and that's great, again, for everyone, especially since you're talking about 60 feet. That's huge. Woodland Elf. Again, so this one gives you a climb speed, it does not give you a climb speed. full speed and a critically success on climb. So it lets you climb faster. You can always use the take cover action when you are within forest terrain to gain cover. Even if you're not next to an obstacle, you can take cover behind it. Again, huge. Those all work great for so many classes. You know what I mean? So again, elf, the dwarf are vastly superior to a catfolk on so many levels just based on the heritages. Even so, looking at the different first, and again, I'm not going beyond first level. I don't care to right now. But even looking at just the first level.
Well, maybe that's the
feats,
problem.
No, because I have
there are
looked
better
at
options.
Sure, but
at higher levels.
Yeah, sure. So I've looked at all the catfolk ones. There's a couple good ones. There's a couple that are very good specifically. Like I love the cat's, what is it? Cat's luck. That's kind of cool. You know, so there's some good stuff, but again, I still think it lacks in power compared to almost everything else I've looked at. Nimble Elf, huge. Speed increases by 5 feet. So now you're talking about 35 feet per action. Someone posted in the Pathfinder group the other day about how if you get into a battle with something that's too strong and you have to run away, your dwarves and anyone with 20, you know, the 15 and 20 feet, depending on their armor, they're screwed. Like, they're dead. This guy's not. 35 feet movement, gone. Like, that's a lot of movement. Cool magic stuff, weapon familiarity, which everyone gets that for their own ancestry. I don't know. I think it's really good. Elves are good. They pass the check. Gnomes. Chameleon gnome, you already know that's awesome. Fey Touch gnome.
I mean, I think it's fun, but the chameleon
Again,
gnome is
great.
very flavor oriented.
But it also allows you to take cover and hide and do all these other things that are useful for every class. Like, you know, yeah, you get a +2 bonus on stealth checks until your surrounding shift in coloration or pattern. Like, it's good. Like, that is a really good thing. To be able to hide, even if you are, say, a fighter. Like, being able to catch somebody off guard and flat-footed because they didn't see you standing right next to them because you're blending in with the bush. Like, that's huge. It's possibly going to give you a crit early on because you're going to catch them flat-footed. Sensate gnome, you get a bonus to your perception checks whenever you're trying to locate an undetected creature that is within the range of your scent. That's good. Dark vision from umbral gnomes. Again, great stuff. I'm cool with it. Animal accomplice. Basically, you gain a familiar.
I'm gonna go see what's going on with the baby.
That's fine.
I'll be right back.
You do that.
I know you don't want my opinions anyways.
No, so I do. I do.
Just gonna go.
But you were twisting it about my playstyle, and it had nothing to do with my playstyle.
Maybe I'll come back. Maybe not.
I love the hunting catfolk. I think the jungle catfolk are good with like the movement and all that stuff. Like, you know, the difficult terrain stuff. I like that. Hunting catfolk, being able to sense things out, that's awesome too. I could see that being useful for a lot of classes. I just don't feel like there's a lot, like, especially when you start going through the feats, I just don't feel like there's an obvious class choice for me where I'm like, yes, this is the class that they are not necessarily the best at, but they're like top 2 or 3 ancestries for this class. Do you know what I mean? That's all. Rangers, rogues, alchemists, and fighters would really benefit. Yeah, I think. See, again, I don't like the fighter for a catfolk really. I really don't. Like if you get rid of if you're using a weapon, you don't use the claws, right? I mean, the claws are good because you get the finesse feat, right? So I guess you might use your weapon on your first strike. You'll use or agile. What is finesse or agile? I think it's agile. So you'll do the second attack with your claws so that you get less of a penalty. So I guess that might be the way to do it. But then you're not using a shield. You're literally just using a single weapon and your claws. I don't know. I like the climbing, but the climbing speed's so slow. It's 10 feet of climbing speed? Like that didn't... I don't even think it's a playstyle thing. I think the catfolk are literally just a role play thing. Like it's just because people like the idea of playing a cat person. Like when I look at the Tabaxi in 5e, I feel like it's far more useful, right? Like I think it works with a lot of different things better than I think the catfolk compared to Pathfinder 2e within the design of the game, I guess. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, I'm new to the system. I've only played, one game. Like, I've read the books, but I typically, when it comes to going through games, like, I don't have a hard time usually lining up the math. So,
Are you still hating on catfolk and talking
No,
about...
I agreed with Chance.
I misunderstand you and...
No, you were... Anyways, I told Chance I agree the hunting catfolk is good because you get the imprecise sense of smell thing, and I think the jungle catfolk is good because you get to ignore the difficult terrain aspect. But then there's, like, feats that allow you to, like, disregard the terrain. So you're not going to take that with the jungle catfolk. I mean, I guess you could, but at the same time, I probably wouldn't because it would just be kind of doubling up on the same thing almost. And he said he thinks it's more of a playstyle thing. I don't even think it's that. I think it's just people like the idea of, hey, I'm a cat, and I want to play that more than anything, and so they put it in there.
People get tired of, like, I'm going to play an elf again.
Sure, again, I'm okay with that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm only talking about what it works well with compared to other ancestries. And to me, it's not like up in the top 3 or 4 ancestries for like most classes. Does that make sense? I can't think of a lot where that would be in my top 2 or 3 choices. Like, yeah, I'm going to play this class, so I'm definitely... The catfolk's going to be one of my 2 or 3 that I'm considering. Do you know what I mean? So I like the idea, and I've talked about this before, I like the idea of a catfolk spellcaster, because then you do have the claws as something up close. You think they're way too good in stealth and mystery campaigns. So what about them, in your mind, makes them good in mystery campaigns?
Ooh, I want to play a mystery campaign.
I don't.
That sounds like so
sounds
much
like Call of Cthulhu,
fun.
but with the wrong system.
Chance, I need the hookup on mystery campaigns. Like, I'm starting to feel like you've been holding out on me. Just letting you know.
You guys already know my thoughts on the goblins. I think the goblins are great. Well-Met Traveler is also an insane first-level choice. Well-Met Traveler is good if you do a lot of diplomacy. Yes. Like, again, that's a social encounter. I'm cool with that. That's about all I got to say about that. Like, I mean, again, I'm not going to... I guess it might work well with Bard, because you're probably already going to be good at diplomacy. Maybe. I don't know. I already think goblins are great. I've already went over that before. I think almost every heritage is good. I think most of the first level feats are good. There are feats throughout. The feats they get in the Advanced Player's Guide. All good. Halfling. Obviously, halflings work really well with the classes that you would think they work well with, right?
Which is what? Why are you trying to
I would say
stereotype
stealthy things, anything that requires...
Thief.
Yeah, rogues, or maybe even a dex-based martial character, or maybe even, like, spellcasters that use wisdom modifiers. So, you got, what, your clerics, druids... Right? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Looking at them in here, again, they're really good. You can eat a snack and add your level to the hit points you regain from their treatment. That's cool.
Wait, again, you get bonuses for eating a snack?
While you're getting treated medically.
It's so halfling.
So it bumps your hit points. Like, again, that's huge. That's good. I like all these things. I mean, not all. Again, I like halflings, though. Like, okay, what is this? And again, I haven't really read the halflings closely because I don't normally play them, other than barbarians because it's fun. Multilingual feat, you gain another new language. So basically you can take this nomadic halfling and learn a bunch of languages. So again, if you're in a social type of campaign with a lot of mystery and discussions and role play with other NPCs, nomadic halfling, that's a good one. Or you just play a character with a high intelligence, so you get a bunch of languages. But that could be anybody. Twilight Halfling. Low light vision. Again, useful for everybody.
Is there like a really
Wildwood.
bad lag on this video?
What are you talking about?
Like what?
It's not. Oh, that's because that is YouTube and it's always about 30 seconds off.
Gotcha.
Sorry
Okay,
about
I was like, what's going on?
Cameron says, in a good elf alternative, I choose Catfolk Party for a species that fits an acrobat, ninja, or other dex-based class. For me, they fit a ton of archetypes well aesthetically. So Cameron, is that based on Pathfinder 2nd edition, or is that based on like Tabaxi in 5e and Catfolk in 1st edition?
I think he's just saying conceptually.
Oh yeah, conceptually, that's where I was too. And then when I started going through the class, I don't know, it didn't really... It would work well with Rogue. It would. I don't know if it would be a top choice for me, though. You know, like...
What about a bard? You don't think they have anything interesting for a bard?
I'll pull it up here in a minute and double check again. But yeah, I don't know. Like, Titan Slinger. That's cool. Basically, you increase the size of the damage die by 1 type when you're fighting a larger creature as a halfling. Again, you get some damage
that's
stuff.
pretty, like, typical, though.
Maybe. I don't know. I've never played anything like that. But that's cool. It makes sense.
When you're a small creature that goes up
When
against
you're a
a
halfling?
large creature, yeah, you
Getting
get...
bonus damage against it?
Yeah,
I've never experienced
your weapon die type
It's only with
changes.
slings. No, typically in like games that I've played, like if you're a smaller creature, your damage type is 1 die smaller.
So I think, I mean, yes, typically, but I believe, I thought it was with like giants or something like that.
So it's like a 2e thing?
I think so.
That's
where
possible.
You get, like,
I like that though.
Where you get a bump up bonus. I don't know. Maybe Cameron knows because I feel like Cameron would know.
What?
You know, if it was a 2e thing.
Why? Do you think Cameron played a lot of 2e?
I feel like Cameron has made references before where he gave you
a barking cricket.
a hard time about not understanding Thatco. Maybe I'm wrong.
Or roll stats.
Maybe. I will for sure roll stats would know, but he's not here, so we're trying to make executive decisions without him, and this is what happens when he doesn't show up for the stream. But I also feel like Cameron knows. And now Cameron is BRB, so we're never even going to know.
So, Chance says, well-met Traveler and Light Paws, along with Hunting Catfolk, could be a headache for me as the DM. Why? Especially in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I actually feel like powerful player characters is less of a problem in Pathfinder 2e than D&D 5e for me. Because bounded accuracy kind of, I think, brings the walls in on me. Yeah, see, Cameron's like, LOL, I don't know if that go. Anyways.
Oh, I thought it was
Cameron's young,
Cameron
man.
knew.
Cameron's a young guy.
I thought, I don't know. I guess I thought Cameron was talking about beards before and like...
No, you're thinking maybe of Melchior. Anyways.
No, Melchior is like way younger than we are.
All right. Yeah, but he knows everything or a little bit about everything.
Crazy.
Just enough to be random and put it out there. Anyways, so
Melchior's wild. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know where he's at
what's going
sometimes.
on. Sorry, Cameron. I didn't mean to judge you. I am not trying to, but maybe you should know. Maybe I'm just like, feel like Cameron would know.
So I feel like in 5e, the bounded accuracy and the way it's designed makes me feel like the walls are pulled in a little more on me in what I'm doing. Like if I exceed certain numbers, I'm purposely going outside the rules to one up an OP character, and I don't like that feeling. Whereas in Pathfinder 2e, the numbers get so high that like I don't know if I would ever feel that same way.
Wait, so you feel bad about putting together like an optimal character?
No. As a DM, if I have a character with say an armor class of 24 at level 4, I feel bad throwing a damn dragon at that group that's going to wipe out everybody but that person to hit.
Why do you throw a dragon at the group?
How do you hit someone with a 24 AC? I understand you can target their weaker attributes, but you can't do that every single combat.
Don't worry about it. Do some bullshit where you like...
I do.
He doesn't have a beard.
No, he does have a beard.
Oh, he does have a beard. Oh, okay. But I don't know.
Everybody
Cameron,
has a beard.
I
It's 2020.
I have this visual of what Cameron looks like, and I just assumed you knew Thatco.
Does he have like dreadlocks in your mind?
No.
Oh, what does he look like? Does he have like spiky hair?
No, but now I don't want to tell you because
I want to know. Don't tell us yet, Cameron.
So you guys, this is a big thing for me, but like I
want to talk about RPGs. Here we are going somewhere else. Paula's accord.
I don't like, so we had this whole conversation, my brother and I did one time, because like he has this like inner monologue in his head that speaks to him, right? There's no words going through my head. I just see pictures of everything in my head is in pictures.
So you don't hear not hear, but like can imagine hearing words in your head.
Yeah, no. So
okay. I can do both.
I just see
maybe that's why I'm so
pictures of things, right? So if I see your name there, I envision.
That's why she can't remember a conversation I had word for word.
What you look like based on what you're saying, because in my mind, when I'm reading your words, I see a person who is speaking your words, and I have a specific image of people. So I don't know, maybe it's like wildly inaccurate.
So Chance said all it would take as a brief encounter with the disguised big bad evil guy, and it would be basically game over. The character would be able to give chase while avoiding the traps and track. So, yes, you are correct. So the light pause, being able to like step and stride. Is that the step and stride one? I think it is. It's like you ignore difficult terrain. You're really quiet.
Wait. So you're like, there's no advantages to being a catfolk.
No. See, again, you're totally stretching, trying to make me sound bad. No, it's not that at all. So, first of all, his situation is like his big bad evil guy in a trench coat hiding himself. So, okay. Yeah, the catfolk can sniff him out. It's a very situational thing he's saying.
Okay.
This is not something that happens in like 99% of any game I've ever played.
Let's back up to your 24 AC character.
Sure.
Or whatever. Why do you have to throw a dragon at them?
You don't. Again, you're stretching what I said.
No, but
in one situation.
It's
there's
just
multiple ways to handle it.
Do something. You gotta think outside the box a
little
bit
but
to
you can't
get
do
at
the
that
same thing
character.
Yeah.
Or you just don't. And you make that character the one who has to, like, start to think about everybody else in the party.
Sure.
And they can't just, run amok and, do these crazy things and whatever. And, that's fine too.
So is it fun for you, for example, say, I don't know, Tomb of Annihilation. One person made an OP character. Everybody else makes non-optimal characters. The OP character lives constantly, doesn't have a problem, never feels any threat or danger because nothing can hit him. But everybody else dies, makes new characters.
No, I don't think you
as
should.
As a player next to that one, it's frustrating
You
sometimes.
should kill the other characters, but I'm just saying,
Oh, so we should fudge our dice rolls now, is what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you have to get more creative in going after that character. It doesn't necessarily have to be a more powerful creature. It could be some sort of wizard or something like that.
Yeah, target their wisdom, target their intelligence, target their charisma, or target their dex.
Yeah, or their
poison
size,
poison them, get them stuck, do opposed checks. I get the tools. I understand.
I'm just saying, you gotta have tools in your toolbox, man. Not
just
a dragon.
I do. I was talking about one aspect that you can't physically hit them at low levels without feeling dirty is my point. That was all I said. That did not mean that's all I do against them.
You don't have to feel dirty. You just I don't know. I guess maybe I don't put enough thought into running a game, but I'm just you know what?
No, you put way more thought than I do.
Seems like there'd be orcs in here. I don't know. Looks like you could fit 6 in this room.
Sure.
Let's put 6 in there.
Sure.
That's the end of my thought.
Sure.
If something's going awry in combat, I mean, now, granted, obviously I'm not going to do that to, first level characters or something like that, but I'm just saying,
Traps, I agree with Chance, by the way.
You don't have to,
I know.
You don't have to, make it so
I agree. I don't find it necessary to make every encounter deadly either.
Because
I'm
that
not that
person,
kind of GM.
too, that's putting together that character with a 24 AC that's extremely optimal on defense or something like that, that's what they want to do. So just like, I mean,
you've been listening to me lately, haven't you? Because that's something I would say.
Let them do what they want to do. You know? No, I guess I don't worry about it. Like, as a DM, I don't worry about whatever you do with your character. Right. You mess up some rule or something somewhere, I don't even really care because, like, here's the story.
Sure.
Are you interested in the story or you're not interested in the story? You want to solve the problem? You don't want to solve the problem? Like, I don't give a crap
Which is fine.
About your character. Unless you tell me, like, hey, I want to include my backstory somehow or something like that. And then it's like, oh, okay, like, I can throw that in there somewhere.
Right.
Or whatever. I don't know. I guess maybe I just...
No, I agree with everything you are saying about how to... All that. I agree. I don't disagree at all. I am just pointing out little things that I've seen bother other people. That's it. That's all I'm doing.
All right. All right, man. I'm just saying. Like, you're feeling stressed out over there.
Interesting. So, no. Because I don't think you... I feel like you should know that I agree with you at this point because we've had these conversations. But, yeah.
I don't pay attention.
Apparently. You don't remember them because you don't hear dialogue in your head.
Yeah, I just see pictures of you talking, but I don't know what you're saying.
So Chan says, then again, I don't usually have... So, okay, he said, there are so many tools in the DM toolbox. There are so many solutions. Usually high AC is best dealt with by traps and puzzles. I agree about the traps. Puzzles, you never know, because that comes down to player intelligence.
We hates puzzles.
No, actually, I like using them. I just suck at coming up with them. And in-game, as a player, I'm not smart enough to figure them out. So I just sit there and let everyone else figure it out.
I saw this great meme earlier that was like...
I saved that for the smart people at the table.
It was like, like the DM says to you, oh, what does that look like? And then it's like this picture of a guy who's totally panicked and he's like, when your natural charisma is a 6, and you're like, I hit it with my sword.
Yeah, basically.
Anyway, sorry. I don't know what made me think of that.
So then he says, then again, I don't usually have a lot of combat in my games. Again, I think that's cool too. I like combat. I like using it as a tool to change up pace. I like to use it as a moment to catch my train of thought sometimes. If I feel like players are starting to go a direction that I don't have anything planned and I'm struggling to come up with something on the fly, I will sometimes throw an encounter to give me a moment to think of something rather than, oh, guys, can I take a 5-minute break? Unless it's a good time for that, Cameron says, I feel like smelling out your enemy only doesn't come up in games because most of the time there isn't a PC with a scent ability. Once a PC has one, smells and track... So again, I like that ability of the catfolk. That's one of the things I praised. I also like the curse, the black cat curse that they have. I like things about it, right? But, like, they're very situational things. They're things that, if I was playing it, I don't know how often I would use those. And what classes do they lend themselves to making better? That's all. That's all my point was. And so then I was like, is it this way with all the ancestries? So that's where I was today. And that's why I'm going through the book now. But I like the scent ability. I like a lot of the abilities of the catfolk. I did the video the other day on it. And, I talked about which ones I thought were good. I think catfolk might make a really cool barbarian if you go with that animal type where you can change into an animal. Or is it change, or you get, like, features of the animal, like shark, so you can do, like, this really massive bite attack or something. I don't know. But anyways, so there's that one, which to me is the least interesting barbarian type, again. So it's something I'll probably play, but we're talking about like a couple years down the line maybe, or literally just to force myself to try it. I think they would work well with druids. Like, I like the oracle idea that I started coming up with the other day. But again, I don't know mechanically if it lends itself to making that class much better than something else might. That's all. So the thing that you said, Chance, that's interesting to me is I always give players at least 3 potential solutions to any given problem. What do you mean by that? Because are you literally
sort of
telling the players that they can do 3 things? Or
no,
I'm very
it's
confused
just like, you put them against this monster, right? Maybe that monster is too powerful for them. Like, if, so you're thinking to yourself, like, if the PCs attempt to, speak to the monster before attacking them, this is the reaction that they would get.
Okay.
Like, if they want to try and negotiate their way out of the situation, the monster's, willing to allow this. Or, there's some sort of, like, object in the room that aids them. Or, whatever.
Yeah, but it sounds like what he's saying is he tells his players the 3 potential solutions.
No, he doesn't tell them the solutions.
So then I would never plan the solutions, though. Because
you don't do
players,
that?
No. Like, I might have an idea that, they might be able to talk their way out of this, but I don't plan that. And the reason is because players come up with far better ideas anyways. And you, as a DM, I just try to roll with it anyway.
Sometimes.
It depends on what it is.
Sometimes you just want to be prepared with the concept. Like,
I suppose.
If they do run away, here's what the monster is going to do. They're not going to tell.
I never tell a new DM as advice to plan any solutions. Ever.
That's terrible.
That's railroading. That's
it's not.
Yes.
No, it's having
because what if they don't do that? Then you're not prepared, and it throws panic into a lot of people.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, because you're not prepared for everything anyway. But what it does is it helps you build a concept with the monster to be like, this is what that monster is thinking. And so it helps you as a person to further build out what your concept is and what's going on in that situation. And so it might not necessarily directly help you with something, but you're like, you know what? He was going to do this. So, yeah, it would make sense that, he would be interested in this, that, or the other thing. Or whatever.
Yeah, nope. I don't do that.
You don't do that?
I will never do that. Nope.
Oh, gosh. No. That's like...
Not like plan it out like to the T like that. No, that's terrible.
No, that's not terrible.
Yeah, it is.
That's preparation.
No.
Like, you want to be prepared for different situations.
I think occasionally having something like that, yes.
That's why they do that in modules all the time. Like,
they don't do it all the time.
They do. They're like,
sometimes.
if the players attempt to, speak to them, here are the 4 situations that can happen.
Right.
Or, C's like, I don't tell them, I just leave the situation open to multiple resolutions. For example, escalation, negotiation,
better
or avoidance.
Chance, and I'm cool with that. Again, because I've done that, but not to the extent that Paula's talking about. Like, I might, for example, say, if they run, they'll probably get away because of this. Or if they fight it, like, something might happen, such as an effect from the environment or whatever. But I don't necessarily say, I'm going to plan for every encounter. What if they run? What if they talk? What if they fight?
Well, no, you don't do it for every encounter, but I think there are some that you kind of know and you have a general idea. Like, this one's going to be tough. So these are the ones that you have to plan out, with additional detail. Like, all the encounters are fine, but when you're, facing the Minotaur at the end, maybe you should have an idea of different ways they could get out of that situation if you're concerned that they might not make it out alive.
No, I think that pigeonholes you into something a lot of times.
I don't think it does.
It can skew things.
It doesn't.
It can influence reactions to other things.
It doesn't.
Cameron says, if they have a high AC and you need to get around it, throw an effect at them that requires a save. I agree. And you can target their weaker attributes and you can, slow them down with difficult terrain. Like, I get all the tools in the box. I get it. Chance says, I scale puzzle difficulty based off of character intelligence. That way it's pretty reasonable. I'll also have them roll to see what hints their previous experiences might reveal.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I like that. Chance says, haha, no, I don't tell them. I just leave the situation open to multiple resolutions, for example, escalation, negotiation, or avoidance. I think that's great. I have no problem with that. Yep, I also factor in previous decisions and actions. It created a pseudo reputation effect. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't feel like, in most of my experiences as a DM, that the players are consistent with the way they handle things. For example, had a character in a game that at second or third level was like, yeah, let's go into the Druid Lich lair that we've never encountered and we don't know how powerful it is, and yeah, let's fight it. But then later on, when they're like level 6 and they've got magic items and all these abilities, oh crap, it's a black dragon, let's run. Like, it just did not make any sense to me that, like, in one instance he was gung-ho on fighting it, the other instance he was gung-ho on running. Like, again, I've had this experience with players. I feel like players' emotions sometimes dictate what they do at the table more so than playing in their characters sometimes. And so
I think
there's a lot of lack of consistency. So for me, it's hard to plan based on the consistency. You know? It's not railroading to prep potential solutions. There are monsters with potential solutions built in, like trolls. Are trolls railroading? Like, do you mean like if you burn it? No, that's just called a weakness. That's not anything. Like, I don't know. Say, again, let's just use the dragon example. It's a red dragon. What are you going to prep? Like, you're going to prep to talk to it, right? Are you going to prep, like, the specific thing you talk to it about in order for it to work? Or are you going to leave it open to just, hey, if the players try to talk, yeah, we're going to let them talk their way out of it. Like, are you planning a series of difficulty checks? I'm all right with that. I don't have a huge problem with that. But I like to run that a little more loose to adapt to what my players do. Not, oh, if they ask the dragon about treasure and bringing it treasure, it's going to let them go. Or, like, I don't try to plan anything specific like that. There might be something that I might want to tie to the lore of the world that I might write into there. But for the most part, that's not something I do every single time I have an encounter with, like, a boss, right? I know what the boss's motivations are, but that's where my prep in that regard starts. And if the players appeal to that, sure, I'll go with it.
Yeah, so see,
but I don't like...
If I don't write down, like, what some of those things, I'm going to forget.
But you're... So when I do it, say I have a guy who's, like, a former... I don't know, just it's a person. And he's motivated by gems. Magical gems. That's his thing. I would probably lead up to that and foreshadow that ahead of time. And if somehow something came up about gems in a social, way, he's going to jump all over it. But that's not me prepping like a social way to get out of combat or something. That's literally me just saying, I know this about the character. The players know it because it's been brought up before. They can use that to their effect to get out of it, or they can bribe him with gems. They can sway him with, like, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to sit there and be like, in this encounter, if the players bring gems, he's going to be receptive to them. Or, oh, if the players promise him the gems from the cave in the next episode, he's going to aid them. Like, I don't plan like that. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
I mean, no, but...
Okay. That's how it would be written in a module. So...
I mean, I guess that's what I do.
Chance says, I know. But we've had this talk too. Typically when I play games that you run, other than Tomb of Annihilation, I felt like it was very, like, railroaded. Other than when we were in a town. But it was like, all right, you're going to the cave. That's what I planned and prepped. All right, you're going to the Wizard's Tower. That is what I prepped.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had people who didn't seem to want a railroady kind of style.
I had no problem in your games. It's just a different thing. It's very like, much, here's 3 arrows pointing to the one thing. Go there. I'm cool with it. I bite on that. I meta game to go where the DM tells me sometimes. Anyway. But, like, in a game like that, I'm not going to start opening up a magic shop and being like, hey, guys, let's open a magic shop and let's forget the hooks to go into the caves. Let's just see how much profit we can make with our magic shop. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how I would play in a game. I know, but that's not how I would play in a game, that you're running necessarily. You know?
I mean, that's your own choice, though. It's your own problem.
Sure. So chances I've had the reverse experience, but then again, I have a super character focused DM style. Okay, fair. Cameron says, I might write up a thing for the dragon to demand if they want to negotiate their way out. I might have something like that, but I would not write it up. I would probably just, again, I know that like the dragon is partial to sentient items. So he might say something like, hey, you bring me a sentient item, I'll give you a non-sentient magic item back or something in trade. Might do something like that. But the dragon might double cross him too. I don't know. Just depends.
Who knows? You never know what's going to happen.
Wow, this got way off the topic though.
I mean, like, not my fault.
Yeah, orcs, I'm back on there. They are what you would expect. Half orcs, I should say. Yeah, I went through all the stuff in the core rulebook already. Again, all of those in my mind are better than the catfolk right off the bat. Like, just looking at them on the top. Oh, we aren't talking about module style requirements to get out of it. Just guidelines. That was a really funny impression of module text, by the way, Juce. Sorry. Again, and I'm not telling anyone what they should or shouldn't do, but if I'm giving advice to a brand new DM, I would not say to plan outcomes ever.
I'm not saying to plan outcomes
or solutions.
Like, you have an idea of what's coming. Like,
sure. And I guess if you do that, I would say just be flexible.
I'll forget, like, oh yeah, this is, an option. And maybe, like, the characters are like, oh crap, what should we do? And maybe you're like, oh, you know what? Their character might realize that these two things are connected, even though the player doesn't. So then you feed them that piece of information. But if I don't write down any of the stuff that's going on, like, I'm going to forget.
I gotcha.
So, like, I have to write some of that stuff down. I just have to.
I was totally being that guy in our Pathfinder group. My last comment. I asked if we leveled up. So, again, I think when I'm talking about this and I'm thinking of a new DM, again, I would not tell them to plan outcomes. I would say be flexible. If the players seem to want to talk, find some ways based on what they say, react to what they say. Don't come forth and force it on them. So that's what I would say. If they want to run, again, react to it and do that. React to what they do rather than say, this is what's happening. This is the solution I prepared. This is how it has to be. That's all. Because I've played with people who do that. Hell, when I started DMing, I think I did try to do that. And that's why I don't do that anymore. Because I used to try to write a book about my sessions. And yep, this will happen, followed by this. Because I didn't know better.
Whatever, fine. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing.
I didn't say you don't know what you're doing. Everyone does things differently. If it works for you, we're good.
You're dumb. I don't know.
I hope you're saying that about the question I asked in the Pathfinder group. Ugh.
I don't even know anymore. I don't even know what I'm talking about, you guys. I'm just over here trying to paint this stupid dragon.
You wanted to paint it.
That won't ever stop having things to paint. Just stop. I don't know. There's so many things, you guys. I feel like I'm forgetting lots of things that need to be painted, probably. Chance
brings up something I agree with. I think a big problem with tabletop RPGs is the relationship with player intelligence versus character intelligence. A lot of DMs ignore the concept altogether, and a lot of players try to exploit it. Same thing with charisma, though. So the problem, you can leave it to dice rolls, which is basically if I'm an 8 intelligence human being in real life, and I'm playing someone with a 17 intelligence in game, and you give me a puzzle, you can give hints and stuff based on my intelligence and whatever, but you're not leaving it up to the player necessarily. You're still you're kind of giving it to them based on their character's intelligence, and so then it takes a little bit of the RP
Well,
out,
no, but
right?
sometimes you have to ask,
I agree.
like, you might have to ask, like, oh, hey, I have this, knowledge of religion or whatever.
Sure.
Could I use something like that to look at the connection between these things? Like, what would I think about that? And if that character, like, if that's a person who wants to do more role play, then maybe you, as a DM, just give them a little bit of information and you let them fill in all the rest of the gaps.
Right, that's what he's saying he does. It sounds like.
Or you can even tell them in an aside if you want to. Like, if you're playing online, you can send them something. Like, you could send them a hint, even if they don't roll for it. Maybe you roll for them because you're like, oh, this character might know that information. So you roll for them and you send them a hint.
Which Pathfinder 2e has built-in secret check mechanics for that.
Yeah, and so then you can handle it that way, and you can either, like, pass them a note if you're playing in person, or you send them a little message, or whatever, so you can handle it that way, and you can just do it that way, and then it doesn't take any of the RP out of it necessarily.
Right.
If that's something that character, that player wants to be able to do. So it just depends on what your player style is and what your DM style is. And sometimes that's hard, like, if you don't know, what somebody's going to do. Like, is somebody going to say, oh, yeah, what does that look like? Or, I don't know, would you know something like that? Sure, like, I can come up with that. Like, it doesn't bother me. But if that makes that player uncomfortable, like, he might not know.
And that's more of a... So that's a different kind of puzzle, too. Like, it almost is like a riddle, more of what we're talking about in a lot of these instances when we're talking about a puzzle. Right?
Well,
if we're talking about hints, right? I mean, yeah, it might be other stuff, but riddles really lend themselves to hints, right? Chance says, I don't know the answer to the puzzle, but Chuck, with his 20 intelligence, would figure it out in a heartbeat. Well, I'm going to give you guys a little Tomb of Annihilation spoiler. My dumbass...
accidentally knew the answer. And
I didn't know the answer. I guessed the answer correctly, apparently.
And
but the lawyer,
was like,
the two people with degrees and like all this stuff in our group were like, that's a stupid solution. So we didn't do it. After the session, the puzzle was basically that you don't take damage, right? If you put somebody on your shoulders.
Yeah, it was this man and crocodile cave, and like you had to act like the man and crocodile depicted in the
there
pictures.
Were clues everywhere that was in the story about how they got across the river or whatever. It was in the pictures on the walls. It was in the fucking statue.
Like
it was everywhere.
And freaking D&D modules
are obvious.
They put in that stuff and it's either totally useless or it's 100% relevant.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, so I said let's do it and they laughed at me. Plus I was a Dragonborn, so I thought I should be the one on top.
There's a chicken.
Or no, on the bottom.
And there's a soul chicken running around in this pen.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Like...
Well, don't ruin all of them.
Do you kill the chicken? Like, does the chicken matter? Or, like, was the chicken there just for flavor?
It's a damn chicken. I would have left it alone. That's why it was dumb that our monk wanted to kill it.
Well, I'm just saying, like, but that's how D&D modules are, where it's like, oh, either this is completely useful and, like, key to the story, or there's, like, no point in it whatsoever.
Cameron says, if you made a code in a letter, would you call it a riddle when you give the handout to the player? No, I wouldn't call it a riddle. I'd call it a cipher of some sort. This happened to me as a player recently. I was kind of frustrated when I found out. LOL. Yeah, I wouldn't call that a riddle, but, I'm just saying riddles lend themselves to a lot of hints. Like, I don't know what's wrong most of the time, but at least twice daily, it's correct. Like, clearly the answer's a clock, but you might go and give them hints like, well, let's tie it to time.
What kind of riddle is
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of one off the top of my head.
What's wrong? You're like, clearly it's clocks. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I was just trying to I suck at riddles in the first place. I was trying to come up with something offhand really quick. Like, most riddles are kind of like that anyway. It's like, oh, what's you can't see it, but you can feel it. Wind, like, there's stuff like that.
When I used to run games in like high school, I had a list of like 250 riddles.
Yeah, where'd you get them?
I would spend
Google or Yahoo?
I would spend hours online and in books looking for riddles and compiled this like massive list.
Right.
Of riddles.
Yeah,
of which
I have
used
those.
Probably 4.
Yeah, I have massive lists out there too, but I hate most of them. I think they're stupid, and most of them I don't think people are going to pick up on. I like to use puzzles occasionally to mix up the game and do something different. I also know you tend to like trying to solve them somehow for whatever reason, because you've told me that before.
I love puzzles. Puzzles
so I try to use them.
Codes and riddles and...
Right, so I try to use them in some of our games. But again, it's just like what I was saying earlier when you have the fighter with high armor class. You can't use the same thing all the time. Like, I'm not going to use a puzzle in every single session. That's annoying. Now, maybe if the whole idea is you guys go to all these riddled temples, then yeah, I would do it more. But, I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm glad that I've reaffirmed the catfolk thing for myself. I don't know. Maybe I'm off base. I'll have to go back and watch my video and be like, nope, you're wrong. What month of the year has 28 days? Honestly, I don't even know. February or something? Is that right? I got a calendar right here. I can cheat. But I have no idea. Is it February? No, that's 29 days. 31, 30. It's not a leap year, is it?
He's flipping through a calendar.
I said that I was. Thanks for repeating me, Paula. Is it December? No, it's not December. I know it's not December.
Doing? What are you doing?
All of them.
What are you
Oh, that's
doing?
stupid. See? Again, I hate puzzles. I hate puzzles.
The month with rage zombies. Cameron, that's like every month of 2020. Okay, 2020 is a hot mess.
We're not getting into that.
But what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen on August 27th?
Nothing.
What's gonna happen on August 27th?
Nothing. Nothing's happening. It's the same. There's always stuff. It's a big world, and shit's always happening, and people make of it what they want.
But what's gonna happen? You don't know. Okay.
The same stuff that happens every day. What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining us, Kelf. We were talking about catfolk, and Paula thinks I'm harsh on the catfolk, and Chance thinks I'm harsh on the catfolk.
Because guess what?
I'm not harsh.
You're harsh on the catfolk.
No, I made a catfolk the other day.
Look at Chance and I agree on something. I think you should go with it.
You know why you agree? Because it's against me. It's easy to agree with people against me for you. I don't know.
Guys.
I'm just saying.
Guys.
I'm just saying.
I think you're over exaggerating.
No, that's what I have to do. That's part of like my going over the ancestries and stuff is I have an objective. Like going into it, what does it mesh well with in my mind? What does it not mesh well? That's my stance on the video.
This pink is really bright.
I don't just give information. I'm an opinion-based channel. That's me.
You have opinions?
I didn't say they were right or wrong, but I have opinions.
Well, yes. I mean, I can tell you if they're right or wrong.
Know. You haven't even read the Advanced Player's Guide.
I can tell you, though, ahead of time.
What can you hold in your left hand, but not in your right? Your right hand? I don't know.
You can hold your right hand in your left hand.
Right, but you can't hold your right hand in your right hand.
Oh.
Catfolk, Tabaxi, I'm actually working on a village map for my players right now that revolves around a snow Tabaxi clan. So in Pathfinder 2e, they have
that sounds
catfolk.
Great.
Yeah, it does. In Pathfinder 2e, they have catfolk because Tabaxi is trademarked, copyright, I don't know, one of those things.
Something like that.
By Wizards of the Coast.
Your right elbow.
I mean, that's very literal. That's very literal. See, I don't like that puzzle. That would be a dumb puzzle to me. I would be mad about that puzzle in game. I'd be like, really? Really? But I guess you could tie it to some lore about some guy's right elbow. I don't know. Anyways.
Or it could just be what it is.
Oh, actually, if you cut your right arm off at the forearm, you could hold your right elbow in your right hand.
So if I prove you wrong, chance.
By cutting Paula's arm off.
What do
or
I
if you
get?
just break the arm, you could fold it back to hold the elbow.
Yeah, let's do that. See if it works.
Okay. Give me your arm. So, anyways, I don't know. But yeah, I did a video on the catfolk in Pathfinder 2e this past weekend. And actually, I've gotten some good feedback on it. A lot of people kind of agree with a lot of my points in the video, and some people I've talked to off of, not offline, but not in the comments necessarily, have told me they kind of agree with a lot of my points, which, you know, it's reaffirming, you know, and I do feel like in these formats, I have been a little bit harder on the catfolk, but Paula usually interrupts me when I'm making my point, which makes me get defensive of my point, and so then I really drive it home.
Well, I have to interrupt you because you're not going to stop talking.
That's not true. I stop talking all the time. All the time. You just don't like the awkward silence. Remember? Watch, I'm going to be quiet now, guys. Let's see how she does. She's got that look on her face.
You're so mean to me.
It's not very entertaining for you guys when we get silent, so I'm sorry. So something the guys from the Tabletop Discourse and Discussions. So we did their show last night. We recorded from 8:30 to 12:30 or something. And it was pretty entertaining. We talked about Pathfinder, D&D, other YouTubers, different videos.
Ooh, you guys were being gossipy, were you?
Yeah, that's the nature of their channel.
Ooh, that's dangerous for you. You're so gossipy.
I'm too open. Yeah, I'm very open. I'm an open book. As I look at an open book. But no, it is what it is. Kelf says one player is playing a Tabaxi monk, whose mother is a member of a snow clan known as the Phoenix. He is trying to find a master to the opposite of the way of the Sun Soul, the way of the Frost Soul. Oh, that's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool.
It's basically a homebrewed subclass that switches radiant damage to frost damage. And he gets Ice Knife instead of Burning Hands. I really like that, Kelp.
Oh, that's fun.
That's some really good homebrewing, in my opinion. Especially since it's literally just flipping the elements there.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it would be game breaking in any way. In fact, it might even be less powerful. Well, no, it'd be more powerful because things would
Frost
probably take
versus fire.
Yeah, because resistance to fire is a little bit higher than resistance to frost.
Yeah.
More things have that. But no, I think that would be completely cool. I would run with that if a player in my group wanted to do that. I would do it. So yeah, I'm now looking at some of the classes here and their level ups and stuff.
Hey, so guess what?
What's that?
I watched for a whole 20 minutes a video about painting.
Did you?
I did. You'd be so proud of me.
Yeah, did you learn anything?
I learned a couple things.
Things that I've told you before or no?
No. Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Not even close. But then I saw somebody posted on a miniature painting group and asked people how long it takes them to paint a regular size miniature.
8 hours.
That was really common response.
8 hours?
8 hour,
Mm-hmm.
8 to 15 hours.
Yeah, because of all the layers they put on.
I was just like,
They
whoa.
thin their paint more than we do. They do layers.
I don't
upon
know.
layers.
I've got some pretty thin paint over here.
Lately, yeah, you've definitely made it more thin.
You
It's
can't
looked
really.
pretty good. No, you've gotten really
Can't
good the
really.
last year. You were good in the beginning, but you're getting like really good in my opinion.
But so I was just kind of surprised because I didn't think it would be that long.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Anyway, that was off topic. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. That was a good one. It's on topic because you're mini pinning.
But it was really interesting because this person that I was watching, like, renders all of her minis. She uses some sort of like computer program where she loads them in and she pre-colors them. So she develops her color schemes ahead of time. And I was like, that's a great idea. Also, I don't know how to do that. So
you would have to do Photoshop?
I don't know what she was using. She just had like a tablet and a stylus, and she was just like, bah,
yeah, she's probably like a full-time artist in general. And
yeah, I know. I was just like, you're so fancy.
It's probably Photoshop or something like that, if I had to guess.
I don't know, but I'm just saying, you guys, it was pretty cool.
Kelp says, I remember the first time casting Ice Knife, I didn't realize that it exploded. I downed the melee characters in the group. That's okay.
Yep.
So if you like this format of Paula and I kind of going back and forth on stuff, you would love the table talk discussion and discourse guys. They do get a little gossipy sometimes, but the premise of their channel, it's 3 guys. You don't see them. It is a YouTube thing though. It's podcast format. It goes like 3 hours an episode, and they'll watch videos together. So say they watch like this video. They might go, oh no, Juice, Catfolk are great. I disagree. And they're going to like criticize and dissect every point I made. They're going to criticize and dissect every point that Paula made. They might agree with some of it. They might agree with all of it. But usually they find stuff that they don't agree with or they think is absolutely ridiculous. So one of the things they might, from tonight, latch onto was prepping 3 ways out of encounters, right? That or problems. That would be something I could see them doing a video or part of their video on.
So what video did you guys watch?
We didn't watch a video. So we started...
Oh,
so there were a couple
you guys
things.
were just super gossipy.
No. So a couple things. So when we went into it last week when they were on my channel, we discussed possibly talking about DM horror stories. Well, then over the week, I had that one person who commented on my Pathfinder 2e core rulebook review, saying that I should have done it when it came out. I suck. Pathfinder... Oh, by the way, a second person said Pathfinder sucks today. From like, why are you watching a review then if you think it sucks? I don't get that.
Then like, don't click on the video, you guys.
Yeah, I don't get people.
Hey guys, are you ready for another pro tip? If you don't want to watch the video, don't click on the video because in actuality, commenting on the video only makes the video more popular and jump in an algorithm.
Come back and let's argue about it sucking on that video and go back and forth for a few days. That's what I want.
I mean, because like I don't think people understand how like life works sometimes, just in general. Just like people don't...
like in our community group when they're like, oh, they keep commenting on shit that they don't want to see on their timeline in a group. But the way groups work on Facebook is when you comment, it jumps to the top of the page. Whereas if you all just quit commenting, it fades away and you'll never see it again. People are dumb.
Yeah, oh gosh, news sites are the worst. Like people on local news sites are like, how is this even news? And it's like, it doesn't even matter what they say. Like they could be like, oh look, here's a cute new dog. And like people are like, why are you telling us about this? There's a global pandemic.
Yeah, there's always people.
And then if they cover the pandemic, people
why
are
are you not
like,
talking about child abductions?
Like, this is so stupid. We're sick of your bullshit. And
all right, stop being political. We're doing it again.
No, but I'm just saying, like, you know, I was like, I don't think you understand how this works. If you comment on it, you're just going to see more of their crap.
Yeah,
so,
and
like,
stuff like that.
If you don't like it, then like stop commenting on it. Like you know how
they don't.
You know how the www works.
You're done. You're done. So Cameron says, who does these dissecting style videos? So their channel is, if you Google it or YouTube it, It's Table Talk, Discussions and Discourse.
And you should look at it after you're done watching.
Open a separate tab.
Video.
Go subscribe to them. The video with me should probably, I don't know if it's up today or if it's going to be up in a couple days.
So anyway, were you guys talking about people who comment stupid things?
Well, so that's how we started. So because I shared that in my Discord with my community. Yeah, there we go. I couldn't look for the word I was trying to say.
With your peeps?
With my community. That the troll comment, and I shared it on Twitter too. So somebody obviously said you should have done this a year and a half ago, blah blah blah, you suck, whatever. Like, okay, cool. Like, I've kind of, like, since I started doing Pathfinder videos, there's just a lot of trolly comments that have no substance to them. And I love trolls. I do feed my trolls on my videos, by the way.
Oh, yeah, he does.
I do. I bait it. After they start going in there.
It's a problem for him.
Yeah, so we talked about it. And so then it segued into tweets by a couple people on Twitter who act like authorities on certain subjects in RPGs. And, like, they're like, they got, like, no, the one guy we were talking about has, like, a small following and a podcast. And his podcast sounds interesting. But all the stuff he says on Twitter and the people he goes after who are, like, bigger, like, influencers than him, he'll say stuff that it's like, what's your point? Like, or, like, he'll just go in on people and he's wrong in the first place. Or his blanket statement is very, like, so one of the things we agreed on last night, me and the TD&D guys, that we agreed.
TD&D.
Yep. One of the things we agreed on is, like, look, you don't have to like how other people play their game. But if they're having fun and they're not hurting anybody, then it's okay. There is no wrong way to play this game.
I mean, like, there's, like, rude ways, though.
Yeah, if you're disruptive to the rest of the people at your table. But if everybody's having fun and appreciates each other, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you know, I don't know.
Give me an example.
I don't know.
Give me an example.
There's a lot of, well, I'm not supposed to talk about politics, so, you know,
okay,
I don't know.
Again,
there's a lot of,
so
like,
if everybody at your table is fine talking about politics,
no, but
then
I'm just saying,
fine.
no, but I'm saying there's a lot of, like, racist, sexist people in, you know, the hobby, and so it's like,
in the world, there's
well, if you're just like, oh, well, like, you do you, man, I don't know.
Sure.
I'm not.
If everybody at the
with
table
that.
is a racist piece of trash, and they all enjoy being a racist piece of trash in their games, then that's up to them. And
I'm just saying, like,
whatever.
No,
I wouldn't play that way.
I know, but, like, I still feel it's my, you know, social responsibility
to bust in and tell them to not treat orcs as inferior races in D&D.
Oh, okay, well, like, let's not go there, but just in general, you know.
Because that's one of the things people are jumping on others about right now, or how they portray, like. So we talked about that, but, like, you know, I'm
just saying. I think there's a certain.
If you're a group of women
limit
at your table and you want to play that all men are douchebags in your game, that is okay. You guys are all having fun together.
I mean,
you
like,
all
there's
agree
a
that's
certain
fun,
element
and you're not
of
hurting any
reality
man
there.
Because a man's not at your table being offended. It doesn't matter.
I mean, like, we're not wrong.
See? Now, all the men at home are going to be offended because you said it in a public forum. That's different than if you said it at your table. Different.
Oh my gosh, Chance's Guide to Fragrances. It could be worse. My local news talks about America more than Canada, let alone the city.
That's why you love America so much.
That's because we're a hot mess.
Stop, you two. No politics. I will mute this broadcast. Stop. You guys don't agree.
I deal with politics at work. I have employees that are super one way, employees that are super another way, and I'm constantly in the middle going, shut up and get back to work.
You sound like me, Kelf. That's me right now. Telling Paula and Chance to take their ball.
There's myself and like
put it in their mouth.
One other coworker and in my little like team at work who is like strongly opinionated. And we used to have... On the opposite side, right? Yeah, and we used to have... like, we were separated by one person in the middle, and the person who sat in between us is a very, like, bubbly, like, let's everybody get along type of person. So
Yeah.
we dubbed her Switzerland, sitting in
geez.
the middle. But, anyway, in reality, we're both smart enough people that we actually agree on more than what people think we do. But we just give each other a hard time. We actually agree on a lot of stuff.
Cool.
So.
All right. Before we get too deep down that hole, I once played an inquisitor who would absolve sinners by marrying them for a week. Long story short, it gave me a +2 bonus to AC. Is that a Pathfinder mechanic? Because I think I remember hearing about a Pathfinder ritual in 1st edition or something. And it has it in this one too, in the core book, I think. I think it has it, or maybe it's in the Advanced Player's Guide. Cameron says, gotta go try to figure out a time loop in a Pathfinder game. Have fun. See, look what you guys did talking about politics.
No,
Cameron's leaving
whatever. Now. It's because you introduced him to these other cool podcast people, and he was just screw this. He's like, I'm gonna go hear them gossip about other people because Cameron likes to gossip like you do. Not so? Really. I don't know.
I don't think Cameron likes to gossip.
I actually don't.
I think he's chill and laid back. Our lawful good paladin took issue with the practice. Of course he did.
Apparently I know nothing about Cameron, so I really shouldn't say anything.
No, it's a 5e spell called Ceremony. That's what it is. Gotcha. Yep, I knew about that. I, for some reason, thought it was Pathfinder, because I've never had a player use it in any of my games.
What?
Ceremony.
Oh, okay.
You get married.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. You're bonded to another character. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be marriage. Does it say marriage? I don't think it does. But you're bonded to another character, and you each, I think, get a +2 AC bump or something. But for some reason, I was thinking it was in Pathfinder. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either.
One of the most broken spells in the game. Why do you think it's broken? I hate the word broken, by the way. It's it baits me every time when people say something's broken.
Because he's like, nothing's broken. Everything works.
No. Who, me?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't buy that, but if it was broken, it would not work. So the fact that it works too well is the opposite of broken. It's turboed. It's supercharged. It's not broken. It's incredibly effective. I played a Kenku Inquisitive Rogue once named Pinky. He was the sidekick to a Goliath detective named Bryn. Bryn was the brains and muscle. It's like Pinky and the Brain.
I love it.
Pinky and the Brain. Did you ever watch that?
Oh, for sure, did.
Awesome. So it's 10:05 or it's 10:07. How much longer do you want to go?
I at least got to finish this pink on this.
Are we gonna have time for Umbrella Academy?
Maybe one episode.
Awesome. I really want to get through that, ASAP.
Yeah, you guys, Umbrella Academy is great. Season 2 does not disappoint.
Yeah, I knew it wouldn't. I actually thought about, since you have been going to bed earlier and stuff, and I have not been able to sleep as well lately again. I have thought about going back and starting season 1 to pass the time because I really want to watch it, and I can't just sit there and watch it. It's so easy to exploit it to create an almost instant army. Yeah, and +2 AC is a big deal in 5e. Maybe game breaking would be a better way of looking at it. Yeah, but I don't think it necessarily breaks the game. It's basically the thing you said wasn't a big deal earlier about my +24 AC character.
No, that was me who said it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, but he said it too, I thought. I thought he was saying you got other tools to use.
I mean, he's not
we're just talking about armor class, right? So you can do all the other stuff. And if it's a character-driven campaign like you run, and you don't run a lot of combat, then it wouldn't matter either, right? I'm just being a jerk, Chance. But I do hate when people say a game's broken. So, again, this goes back to that whole Palladium books thing. I've heard that system is broken for years. And you can play it. The rules don't work necessarily. Like, but you can play the game and you can have fun stories and you can have a good time with it. There's no balance, but you know that going into it. So, you know.
So what they mean is that there's no balance, not that it's broken.
Well, there's that, and like, so people point to the speed associated with actions per round, and that bothers some people. Which obviously we've talked about that before. Yeah, there's things again that I understand what people are saying. I just hate when people use the word broken. That's all. That is all.
He doesn't like your terminology.
But it's also why I hated when people would say that people were power gamers before. Because I don't view the definition of power gamer the same as other people. Some people think if you're the definition of a power gamer is someone who will optimize their character and be so good at something at the expense of the rest of the party. And they view it as a problem player in that aspect. So that's how they classify it. Whereas me, I just view it as someone who makes an extremely powerful character no matter what everyone else is making at the table. It's whatever. So you get a +2 to AC, 1d4 to saves, and 1d4 to ability checks to every person you touch. Everyone you touch or everyone you're in this ceremony pact with? I love finding broken optimizations in D&D. Tabaxi Shadow Monk with Boots of Speed and Haste cast on them can travel 1,180 foot in 6 seconds. That's an average of 134 miles per hour. So, if you got a character that's the Flash, well, I guess that's not the Flash, but if you got a character who's running that fast and tries to punch something, I'm going to let him do extra damage. I mean, that would technically be something like an extra 8d6 of force damage behind it from the speed, right? Because you could probably throw a punch, maybe 50 miles per hour normally? So, you're also going to take that extra damage, though, is how I would rule that. As your arm shatters into 1,000 pieces from smacking something that hard. Especially as a cat. Your weak, frail bones.
What are you talking about?
Cats? Yeah, their bones are pretty thin. But they always land on all four, like, perfect. So they don't break things as easy because of how they land. Because of their agility. Here I am sounding like Melchior, though. Also, limitless holy water and the ability to nullify most animate dead spells. Everyone you touch. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty big. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look into that spell a little more. Gosh, I am starving. I am always hungry when we eat eggs for dinner. Always. Ooh. Has anyone explained the Tensor's floating disk warp drive to you? No, but you're going to.
But are you?
You should do videos on the broken combinations and stuff. That should be your thing, Chance. Kelf, I did the math a while back and determined that traveling at 135 miles per hour in 6 seconds would be the same being hit with dozens of elephants at once. Dead the first time you try. Yeah, that's faster than a drag car. Like, your fast drag racing cars don't even do that.
Getting hit with elephants?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, you couldn't have chosen,
I don't know what that means
like,
exactly.
a more common thing? Like, you chose elephants? Like, I don't know. I just would have gone with, like, a brick wall. That would be the equivalent of traveling at X speed and running into a brick wall. But, like, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, I'm just wondering if there was a thought process behind the elephants. Like, where were you like, oh yeah, you know what I should compare this to? Is like what happens if you ran into elephants. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe like you really like elephants. I don't know. I'm like, I've got questions. It sounds like you have answers.
I don't understand what that means. Like, hit by a dozen elephants. Like, again, that doesn't, like,
did
one,
they
an
punch
elephant
you?
weighs a lot. So,
or
like,
did
it's
the wind resistance against the body is so great that the weight is equivalent to being squashed by dozens of elephants? Okay, I appreciate the clarification because all I could think of is like you just like ran into the side of an elephant and like I don't know, it wasn't like
you can go 134 miles per hour though. That's not going to kill you.
No, but he's saying like I don't know.
So how fast do you fall out of a plane? What's free fall speed?
Isn't that like 98?
I mean, I feel like I could like have a convertible top car. Someone could be driving it. As long as I'm like strapped to the car, 134 miles per hour is not going to kill me. The bugs hit me.
No, but he's the squash, like squishing, being squished by an elephant is a big deal. So Tensor's floating disc will always move to catch you and maintain a 30-foot distance. All you need to do is create a seating assembly that attaches to the disc that keeps you 35 feet away from it.
Yeah, I would not allow that in my game anyway. So he's saying a mechanism that keeps, like, that does not allow it to get under you. So you're always going super fast, like, and just accelerating.
Oh. I mean, like, I guess so.
So, okay, so free fall terminal velocity is 118 miles per hour for a human skydive.
118.
Yeah, which is pretty darn close to that. And I've never heard that that's painful.
No, but, like, when you hit the ground, it's gonna be.
Well, duh, but you don't hit the ground.
Well, yeah, but at some point you... Okay.
Right? So, all right, here's
another
one.
I think we're all set.
Austrian Felix Baumgartner has become the first skydiver to go faster than the speed of sound, reaching a maximum velocity of 833.9 miles per hour in jumping out of a balloon at 128,100 feet. That's 24 miles above New Mexico. That's pretty damn crazy. Could you, like, I can't imagine.
I know you can't imagine.
Well, I mean, I can visualize it and I can hear it.
Stop it.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, so. Since the disc must move faster than you, and because of the assembly you're attached to the disc, it reaches impossibly fast speeds. I also discuss potential spell uses in every spell video. So, I'm going to be honest, Chance. I have not watched a ton of your videos, but I have watched a few. I mean, you would know because I've clicked like on them.
Well, I'm going to be honest, Chance. I've watched 0 of your videos, but I've watched 0 of everybody's videos.
She doesn't even watch mine.
That's true.
She does not support me.
You know what? I've watched a couple of Nerdarchy's videos.
She's not a fan.
Well, they just, like, they talk too much. Like, no,
what are they supposed to do?
No, like, they have...
you did a video, you talk too much. Well, yeah, that's the point.
Look,
Sherlock.
okay, look. They have good information, but, like, I need the 90-second version. Like, I don't have time to listen to your video for a half hour. I don't have time. Like, I need
Chance
the
said
cliff
all
notes.
G, fam. So when someone says fam, I think of juggalos. Not gonna lie. I've always thought of juggalos when people say fam. Because that's what all juggalos say. So.
Because he was deep in that crowd.
I was deep in that crowd. Let's see, for 20 years? Yeah, 20 years, almost. Well, I wasn't deep in it for 20 years. Deep for maybe 18-ish. Yeah, something like that. I find a lot of creators pad runtime too much. I don't think they pad it. I just don't think they know how to shorten it. I don't know how to shorten it. That's my issue.
Like,
I don't, even when I edit stuff out, I'm trying to bring it down. I just struggle.
And if you talk too slow,
if it is a
game
1 minute
over.
video, it does feel like it's not worth talking about, though. I've done videos where I'm like, oh, that was only like a minute and a half. I'm not even going to put that up.
Like, the best is if you can speed up a video and make them talk, like, 1.5 times faster.
You can do
because
that.
I know some
it's actually
people.
2.5, I think.
Yeah, some people talk so slow that I'm just like, you know what? Like, you got good stuff, but, I can't even...
Melkier's here. He's like, working late. Well, that's to my advantage since I get to catch the stream. That's funny. We've got like 5 more minutes left.
Yeah, we're probably going to jump off in a second. I should get some of this orange out and just do this one part real quick, and then we should probably be done.
Chan says, that's why I keep all my videos short and to the point. No, I think that's good. Well, and you're talking about individual spells per video, right? Like, I feel like it would be hard to stretch out a paragraph. Like, that would be like the equivalent of my Catfolk video where I talked about each feat. If I tried to talk about one feat, like, I think even 1 feat I only spent like 20 seconds on each time. But it all added up to be like a 12-minute video. I couldn't imagine spending more than a minute on each feat. Then it would feel like I'm padding it and it would not be worth it. I mean, spells, obviously you got a lot more versatility with those, though. Kelf, it's not the speed, it's the acceleration. Okay.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like the
yeah.
whiplash or something. And that's the constant speed. But since nothing can go from 0 to 100 in 1 second without completely obliterating itself, that means that you have to achieve a faster speed by the end to achieve an average of 134. Yeah, I mean, there's like drag cars go like 180 in a quarter mile for 4 or 5 seconds, I think. Or maybe it's like 220. I don't know, but they're strapped in.
Yeah, but what
with a
he's
seat
saying is
and a
that
helmet,
if you
but if it's open
average,
air,
but if you average that speed, then in order to average
Well,
that
the average
speed,
is
you
not a
have to
problem.
have speeds above it because you have periods of time in which the speed is below it. So in order
yeah,
to
that's not the
average
average.
that
That's
speed,
the top speed.
Oh, okay.
Is what? Yeah.
Well, I have no idea why we're talking about it, but I feel like that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, it's the initial boom, 0 to 134 instantly. I get that. It all depends on how far you go into it. WebDM has 20-minute videos about individual feats. Yeah, do they? I used to watch a lot of WebDM. Some of their videos I used to like because I like the format of 2 people talking. But yeah. Oh, did you tell your mom happy birthday today?
For sure I did. I actually talked to her today before I came out here too, in addition to that, because she was concerned about the update with Caleb and the marble situation.
And you said that, yeah, he's still fostering the marble, but it's all good.
I said, to our knowledge, the marble is still somewhere inside his body, but...
Don't worry, he hasn't lost his marbles yet.
The doctor seems not concerned about it, so I therefore shall be not concerned about it.
Yeah. Barking Cricket joined us. Hey, buddy. At Kelp, wasn't it 6 seconds?
Hey, Barking Cricket. Do you know 2nd edition?
Yes, he does. We talked about this. He's one of the Thaco people.
Okay.
Melchior.
I'm sorry, I got you mixed up with Cameron earlier. Apologies.
Yeah, big difference. Melchior. See, Barking Cricket did the blacksmithing thing and all that other cool stuff.
Oh, yeah, no, I know that.
Yeah. Melchior. I finally managed to cook a good omelet, by the way. Not overcooked and just about the right texture. Still a little work to do to get it just right, but it's finally a proper omelet. Did you cook it on a low heat setting?
Melchior, just so you know, without pictures...
Yeah, it's meaningless.
No.
It's no good without
Explain that code, please. It's just like to hit armor class 0. You just know. Like...
You just know. Yeah, that's great explanation.
What do you mean?
You're
like,
such a good teacher.
Explain it.
Of
so...
Thaco.
no, you're rolling your dice, right? And you look on your table, and you...
How do you do it without the table? That's what people want to know. Because we don't have a table for Thaco right this moment.
Because you know how far away from 0 you need to be, therefore you know what you have to roll.
This is not helpful at all.
I'm sorry. I'm really tired right now.
How do you determine Thaco?
No, how do you... what do you mean? How do you determine it? It's part of...
say I'm 6 to hit armor class 0. Or say a monster is a 20 armor class.
Well, that's not a thing.
Okay, I don't freaking know because Thaco's dumb. Like, it's so dumb. I've had Thaco explained to me 100 times, and every time I forget it.
It's just a chart. Just look at the chart.
But there is no chart.
We don't know how to.
You have to make the chart.
Yeah.
How do you make the chart? You gotta explain it.
So as you're building your character, you figure out what your Thaco is, and you put the number 0 above it, and then you go negative, and then you go positive to the right, and then you also
realize
decrease.
The actual character sheets don't have that chart, right?
It doesn't matter.
There is no chart.
You can't draw lines.
No, that's something people made because Thaco was a pain in the butt, though. There was no chart.
You can't draw a line. It's just math, you guys. It's just math.
So explain the math to us. You did a better job, 3 weeks ago when you did.
You add and subtract based on what you need to get to. So if you're trying to get to, if
you have to roll under the number rather than above
is -2, then you're rolling your die, you're adding whatever you're supposed to, and then you're trying to get to 2 away from your Thaco, right?
Okay. Right. We understand it's what it means. It's to hit armor class 0. So if something is armor class 2 or whatever, I guess it has to all be negative, doesn't it? Armor class -3.
No, it can be armor class 2. I'm just saying nothing's going to be armor class 20.
All right.
What are you trying to hit it,
3, what do I have to roll to hit that? How does that work? I know that technically what I have to hit is a sliding number as well.
Yeah.
But how does that work? It's so complicated. It's way more... That's why the way that it is now without Thaco is so much better. It's so much more intuitive.
Just saying, you guys.
Cooked over low heat and also cooked less at a time, so it cooked through properly. 2 eggs seems to be the right amount. It would also depend on the size of your pan, skillet, whatever the hell you're using.
Barking Cricket, I absolutely asked you a question, and my question was,
Rest
do
in
you
peace,
know Thaco?
I'd also probably rule that the disc can't go faster than the caster's walking speed.
Earlier I assumed that Cameron knew about Thaco, and apparently Cameron did not, and Lee was like, you are confusing Cameron with Barking Cricket, and I was like, well, I knew Roll Stats knows.
Well, he was the one who explained it last time, which is why it made sense.
Anyway, he said you're confusing him with Barking Cricket, and I'm like, no, I think that Cameron knows. And I was like, because Cameron also has a beard. I don't know why these things go together, but in my head they just
Paula
went
does not
together.
remember words.
I'm a visual person, so
in her brain. Her brain's visual.
My brain is visual. So anyway, that's what I was asking about because I got you confused. So I'm sorry I got you confused.
So there's some kind of weird subtraction.
In advance.
I'm going to Google Thaco. How does Thaco work? I'm just going to Google it and see what comes up. And then we're going to get to the bottom of this again.
Hold on, what is going on with Melchior? The priest says you
don't
don't belong here. You're part of science, not religion. The Higgs Boston replies without me.
We talked about this.
You can't have the mass. The priest replies the gravity of that statement adds weight to your argument. Oh, that's so funny. You're hilarious. You're so funny.
Okay.
Okay,
THAC0 is
are
a
you
brief
done?
creation to hit armor class 0 and is used as the basis for determining if an attack roll succeeds in AD&D. The player then subtracts that number from their character's THAC0 value to find the strongest armor class the attack hits. So, you're rolling
That's what
a
I
d20.
said.
No, you didn't. You didn't. You had such vague, general, open statements. You didn't say anything.
Oh, see, Barking Cricket's not offended.
All right.
Cameron does seem like good people.
Yeah,
Doesn't
Cameron's
he?
cool. So, if you roll like a 15 on your die, you subtract that from your THAC0. So if your THAC0's 8, as an example, right, then you would have a -7. That's the best armor class you're going to hit, correct?
I'm sorry, I'm not really listening. I'm trying to finish this. What?
If I roll a 15 on the die,
Okay.
and my THAC0 is like an 8, then I hit -7. Is that correct? And that would mean I would hit anything -7, -6, -5, -4, right? All the way up to infinity. Is that correct?
Well, it only
Because you
goes
want
down
negative
to
armor classes.
Yeah, it only goes down to -10.
Sure. But I can make a god that's better than that.
Okay,
I could
well,
do whatever.
do what you want,
But,
man.
but my point is like I could hit anything above that number then.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how
I think
THAC0 works.
That's fine.
You take the number you roll from whatever your THAC0 score is. You get your THAC0
That's
score
what
from your weapons and from your class.
Isn't that what I said?
No, you did not say any of that.
I said it comes from when you build your character.
Yes, a very vague, open, broad statement.
I mean, like, what did you want me to, like,
The
detail out?
information.
Like,
Yes.
if you're a fighter at level 4 and you take these different
Not that
things,
specific,
like,
but at least give an example of how it works. Saying that it's just, yeah, you get it from here, like, but not, like, any context to it isn't helpful. That's all. That's all. Do you guys agree with me on this one?
look, I'm really tired, you guys.
Chance says, Melchior, it has to move faster than the caster's walking speed to maintain distance. For example, it will still maintain
Ben
the
Drake
distance if the
says,
caster-
I want my awkwardly nerdy got that co shirt.
I can do
Dude,
that. You want that tomorrow? We'll make it happen.
It's in the works now.
We'll make it happen. Got
that co.
We actually just put up a new, what is it? It was the Play and Let Play shirt.
Yeah.
That one, and then there was another one, right? Didn't we put two
There
up?
were some rainbow D20s.
Yeah, that one's cool.
I like the rainbow
Got
D20s.
Thatco. Yep. What? What's wrong? But anyways, I'm glad I could teach you guys Thaco. Thank you for coming to this TED Talk. Come again next time. No. Did you finish the thing you were talking about?
Oh, yeah, a while ago, but we were still talking, so I was
okay.
just, like, going along with it.
So Barking Cricket, no prob. Cameron seems like good people. Yep. Melchior says, sounds like my pussycat is trying to get my attention. Why did we call it a pussycat instead of just a cat? I don't understand. Anyways, Barking Cricket, say it again. Kelp says, thank you. That finally explains Thaco. Thank you. You're welcome, Kelp.
The point is that when you're rolling the die, you don't have to add and subtract.
You do have to subtract.
Like, well, you don't have to. You're not adjusting your die rolls.
What do you mean adjusting your die rolls?
So...
You mean like the thing I tell you to put on your character sheet so you don't have to adjust it every time you roll your dice?
No, not that. You're done. I'm done. I don't even know what I'm going to do with this dragon anymore, you guys. I don't know what's going on. I just it just needs to be more pink. I don't know. I just need to I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Like, the whole thing's a disaster.
Barking Cricket says, personally I liked Thaco for monsters, but I've always favored to hit bonuses for NPCs and PCs. Yeah, I've never liked Thaco because I never can remember how it works. So I read it tonight, I get it right now.
I need to add brown.
Tomorrow I'll forget.
And I need to add more pink. And then I think I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
Brown and pink. Don't let me forget that.
Yeah, it needs more bone color. It's still gray.
Stop! It's going to end up being somewhat gray.
I'm not being critical. I'm just trying to help you. Because the stone is gray, so it makes it blend in a little much. So that's the only issue, I think. If you bring up more bone-ish color, I think it'll pop better. It'll make more sense. It'll stand out a little bit from the stone. Does that make sense?
I know. I continue to add more and more.
She's going to kill me.
You guys.
Anyways.
This is a hard thing to paint. There's so much stuff to it.
There is a lot to it. Wait. Say that again.
What?
What'd you say?
What are you talking about?
We got to go back like 8 episodes and compare the 2 statements side by side. What'd you say?
No, I think mistakes were made. So
on this?
Now I'm just trying to fix the mistakes.
It's a blank canvas.
It's not a blank canvas. It's like...
It's gray.
It's a hot freaking mess.
It's a gray canvas.
Hot mess. You guys, he said from the beginning, he's like, it's just gray. It just sucks.
Well, I mean...
It's just gray.
I've never said it sucks. I have told you, you've said it sucked. I've said it's better than you give yourself credit every time. I've told you I like it. I've told you it's going to be awesome. I told you it's going to be the focal point of the new bookshelves. When those come in here in the next month, it's going to be great. You're going to liven it up tomorrow night when we come back. It's going to be great. AC 0 is like AC 20 now.
We should do...
THAC 20 to hit armor class 20.
Yeah, basically
no,
the same.
No THACO. No, I'm done.
Parking Cricket. I want to see your add-on for 5th edition to adjust everything to THAC 20.
Nobody is going to do it. Nobody will play that game.
Me and Barking Cricket.
I guess Roll Stats might play it.
I'll be in the middle.
I won't play that game.
The Tyranny of Dragons game.
Fuck that.
Roll Stats and I'll be like...
Nope. I will not play that game. Nope.
Too late. You're already running it.
Not with THACO.
Yeah, for sure.
Nope. If you guys start speaking in THACO, I'm going to say you miss every time. Put the pics on Patreon so we can see. I will do that.
Here.
Oh, I'll take it.
Send me your phone. Send me your phone. In other words, give it to me.
Yeah, I got to put my password in that you forget every time.
Yeah.
Even though I tell you it all the damn time.
I can't ever remember.
It's never changed. In the 10 years we've been together, it's like been the same thing across multiple things, and she can't ever get it. She can't ever figure it out. Yet, here I am. I know her PIN number, her social security, Final Four. Like, I know it all. I know
you're the last 4 digits of your social security number.
Yeah. Do you know my phone number?
For sure I do.
Oh, you do? You have it memorized?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
You know how much crap I have to put that on? Because I fill out everything for everybody in this household.
Well, I'll just get my ball and go home then. No, we love you, Barking Cricket. You can stay. I just am not going to run any games with THACO because THACO's confusing to me. And I forget. Like, again, just this year alone, I've probably read up on it and had it explained to me like 8 times. At least. 8 times in 8 months. You would think by now I would know. I don't. It's very difficult. It's so counterintuitive to how my brain works.
Okay.
It needs to be simplified, and there's no way to simplify.
I took 4 pictures.
Yeah, that's fine.
You should post all 4 of them.
Yep, I'm going right now to Patreon. It'll be up in about 10 minutes.
Advice/feedback is appreciated. So...
I sent you the thing today where someone was like, it looks so great.
Do your job, be a
Twitter.
Drake, and tell me what to do.
I said on Twitter.
Yeah, I know. The guy on Twitter was Zipper on Disney. And he said, the paint job is awesome. He's so thankful for this series. And I was just like, that's so nice. But also, like, can you please define series? Do you mean, like, the dragon? Or do you mean, like, just the part where we argue with each other and paint miniatures, or like the part where I yell at him while we paint miniatures, or like, what part? Have you guys ever read the D&D novels? I recently started reading the Dritz novels. I'm about halfway through book 2. So I have
There's
read
like 30 books.
Some Forgotten Realms.
Mm-hmm.
I've read a lot of I've read some of the D&D books.
You should post
I've read some of the books that were, or some of the modules. I'm not sure what came first, whether it was like the old school like modules that were like the AD&D and second edition modules, whether it was the novel that came first or the module that was based off of the novel. I'm not really sure, but I've read a lot of those. There's over...
Yes, but there's like 30 Dritz novels by R.A.
There's over 300 Forgotten Realms books. Correct. So...
Yeah, because there's like
I read an excessive amount of them prior to being 20, and I would typically read like 2 to 3 novels a week.
Drake, don't encourage her.
Do your job.
I mean, I guess she was talking to you, but still, don't encourage her.
Oh, I've read some of the Dragonlance books as well.
Yeah, we have Dragonlance, we have some, Greyhawk, and some
I've read some of those.
But we don't have any, like, complete sets, and they're not always, like, book 1, they're, like, all over the place.
Yeah, that's because, so my brothers gave me all of their, I read a lot of books. So I used to read while, like, walking to school, or read in between classes, or I was in band and I would read when other people, like other sections were playing, or I would read on the bus to school or on the bus home, and I would read for a couple hours before bed, and if I couldn't sleep I would read. And I watched some TV, but I just read a lot of books. So it wasn't uncommon. It took me a couple days to get through The Hobbit. It took me like a week and a half to get through the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Oh, keep calm and paint minis.
Yes, with the paintbrush. That's what we added. So you can get these in different colors. You also have the play and let play stuff, which is the shirt. There's like this big tapestry for your wall, the sticker. Keep calm, paint minis, mug, shirts, So anything you guys purchase from here obviously helps us get better stuff. So, like working microphones when we start our streams. But yeah. I would love to read the Dritz books. I thought about buying the first box set of like 6. But yeah. Did not do it. All right, I'm posting the pictures in the Discord, but only in the Patreon channel for now. They will go up into the miniature painting channel in a couple days.
Everybody else has to wait.
Yeah. So if you want to see them right now, you can go become a $1 patron backer and see them right now. And if you link your Discord to the Patreon, you can see them there as well.
I have not read any Alan Dean Foster. I actually had to Google him. It looks like he mostly wrote Star Trek and Star Wars books, and then the Spellslinger series, something like that. Spellsinger. So I did not read that, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Read all the Redwall books. Those were great. As Lily gets older, she would love those.
Sure.
Series. They were all like little like mice and badgers and stuff like that. They would defend their castle.
There you go. I like this shirt. I think I want to order one for myself.
Yeah, maybe we should get the tapestry.
Oh, the tapestry would be great. There's the red. Boom. The front's cool. I love that. I think that is so cool. Then when you zoom in on the rules, there is no wrong way to play. Role and roleplay are not mutually exclusive. Not all playstyles are for everyone. Not all systems are for everyone. Don't judge other people's fun if it isn't hurting anyone. Don't ruin others' fun for your own.
Okay, so if you want to watch a show,
let's go do this.
All
right, guys, I gotta go. But you can see the shirt is up. Would love it if you would go and purchase one or 10. That'd be really damn cool. But if not, I get it. But anyways, love to see you guys tomorrow night. We will go live at about 8:30 again. And you know how it goes. So this is Master of the Game. I'm Juice. This is Paula, who is awkwardly nerdy. Game on.